Sometimes we're talking about family, sometimes we're talking about work. But no matter what, we're here. It's Wednesday. Let's hang out. Oh my goodness, is that 4 episodes in a row? What? No, yes it is. It's 4 episodes, guys. What's going on? Let's hang out. I'm back. I'm excited. This is something I've been wanting to do and slowly leading up to. I talked to you guys about it last week. Talked about having these plans and making things happen. Last week, whenever it was, I've lost track of time when I'm recording these things. Oh my goodness. But we talked about it. So before I dive into what I want to talk about today, what I want to share with you guys, connect on the socials at Letshangoutpod, hashtag Letshangoutpod, anywhere you guys can find us on. We're on pretty much everything. If we're not there, let me know, and if it's something you guys use regularly, I will try to make it happen. But we're here, we're doing the thing, we're keeping our word about not giving up on projects and not slowing down. So I made a reference to it a few episodes back that I am really trying to make this a weekly podcast. Bi-weekly was kind of the start to get the feelers out there. I am trying to get everything in place to make this a weekly occurrence. I cannot, at this moment, promise you guys when that will start. But any opportunity that I have to do a weekly post, I am going to do it. So I will keep my promise, the initial promise that we had of a bi-weekly podcast. You will absolutely get an episode every other week. That schedule of every other week might shift depending on when I have to take that break and I can't do the weekly posting. So if we go 3 weeks in a row, and then week 4 is typically when an episode comes out, that might get skipped if we just did 3 in a row. But I want to let you guys know that is the goal. The goal is to make this weekly. You guys have shown me that you guys want to listen, that you guys are enjoying what's getting talked about. The engagement out there it exists. Excuse me, stumbling on that thought there. The engagement exists out there among the different socials. TikTok has been a fantastic response from you guys. I didn't expect that. So hopefully as things grow there, maybe we can turn that into another source of doing podcasting a little more directly, a little more live, and get away from other channels of the live podcasting. But again, that's just thinking out loud idea, getting that rolling. Anyway, we're back. We're here. It's Wednesday. Let's talk what's going on. So, as of this recording, my kids are back at school, which is awesome. A lot of things with that. A lot of emotions with that. That swing from summer schedule to school fall schedule, my goodness. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. Some of you guys, I'm assuming, are parents and have. If you haven't, 0 out of 10 do not recommend going from the sleeping until 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning to suddenly overnight having to wake up at 5:45. That sucks so bad. But we're excited. It's a school year. It's another one with a lot of good things coming. It's our youngest going into kinder. Our oldest is a sophomore this year. Our middle child is right in the middle of the pack. It's wild, man. It's this weird place where I'm suddenly back where I was a few years ago when I was originally starting to chase some of my other dreams. My youngest at the time, my middle child, she had just started school. So I had 6 hours where it was just me and my thoughts and making things happen. And I spent a lot of time talking about things going on, coming up with plans, coming up with ideas, and then just kind of letting them sit and not become reality. So to be back in that spot again where all my kids are in school and I have about 6 hours a day where I can do what I need to do, it's kind of a weird adjustment. Like, okay, so last year we had the pre-K situation. By the way, this episode we're talking about school. This isn't school life. This isn't storytime school life. This is just, we're talking about school. There'll come up with some creative name by the end of it. You guys will see it when it's posted. You guys will get it. You'll understand. Anyway, so last year my youngest was in pre-K. And it was super cool. It was something that we hadn't done with the other kids. And it was a great experience. Great teacher. She loved her class. They did all kinds of fun stuff. But it was such a weird situation because it wasn't like it was at the local school. It wasn't at the school where my kids went. This was a completely separate school. The way the pre-K was broken up is that you got into a program and you got placed at one of the pre-Ks in the district. And if you were lucky, it was in the city you lived in. Our kiddo got lucky and was in the city we lived in, but it wasn't at any of the schools we'd ever been to. So we would have to do drop-off and pickup because it was pre-K, they couldn't ride the bus. So my day was really limited, even though she was out the door, 7:15, 7:30. It was still the time to get there, get back, do whatever. And most times, thankfully, my wife was the one who would drop her off in the mornings, because then she would just, take off to work from there. But those mornings where it was me, it would kind of throw things into a weird, chaotic loop, which is why some of the streams and some of the podcasts felt a little off. So we fast forward through the school year, things kind of adjust. I'm still only getting about 4.5 hours, 5 hours of time to work on projects because I have to stop and then go to the school and wait for her to come out and wait to go pick her up. And then deal with all the chaos of getting home and everything else on top of it. So it was a weird mess. But we made it work. We've been working on the podcast while we've been doing this school thing, and it's worked out so far. So this year, again, it's the first time that I'm going to be just me. Just me for a majority of the day. And I have a lot of things in place, a lot of plans in place, a lot of things that I've been working on since the last episode. Trying to get all the assets in place. All the framework for any of my streams coming up. And coming up with cool ways to do that, kind of streamlining things like I've been trying to do off and on. Funny story, I did a partial rebrand to all of my streaming stuff at the beginning of last year. This year, oh my goodness, it's not even over yet. I did a partial rebrand back in like January. I had a plan to do a lot more, and I didn't get around to doing it because I had made some content, I'd made some graphics that they're still up and I'm not proud of them. So I want to go through and really draw it out, come up with a plan to put it all in place and link it together, so that way all of my projects that I'm doing all kind of, they feel like they're, part of what I would consider my brand. And I touched base on it on the last episode for just a real brief moment here. And I'd said at that time I wasn't going to get into it. So just to take a moment and explain, because I have gotten a few questions about it. So besides my streaming and my charity streaming, and besides the podcast, obviously, I've wanted to do more of the social side of things, the social video side of things, because it's a very popular outlet. Things like TikTok are huge right now. And I know that's very kind of touch and go with people of how they want to do their social. Some people will swear up and down they will never touch TikTok. I was one of those. Some people absolutely refuse to do it. But my argument was, look at things like Vine. I waited until the very end of Vine's life to kind of hop in. I didn't know that Vine was shutting down. And I jumped in probably that last year or so that Vine was a thing. And then they were like, hey, we're going away. And I loved Vine. Once I got into it and I started using it and watching videos, I loved the concept of it. So this time I was hesitant with TikTok because of the things I was watching, the trends I was seeing, and I waited a long time. And now I can say that I am fully immersed in the app and understanding it. I finally started posting my own videos and stuff like that. We even have a TikTok for the podcast, which I'm designing content specifically for that. Some of that includes these episodes, some of that will include interviews and stuff like that we do. But the point is, it's something that I wanted to work on, and I'm putting those things in place. So I have that. Along with that, if you guys know me or followed some of my content, you guys know my love for tabletop gaming and card games. And I ran for a short while there. I had an advice page on Twitter for Here to Slay, which was made by Unstable Games. I was actually supposed to be a playtester, game tester for Unstable. I had gotten approved, and then I ended up with my cancer situation, and I missed the first month of being able to be part of that, and I couldn't miss that first month of stuff because it was all the entry into everything. And I reached out and I was like, hey, I was kind of dying, I had to miss it. Can I get back in? And they were really understanding the whole situation, but I couldn't get in because then it was that whole creating special situations and exceptions for people, and they were very kind. It's no trash talking of Unstable. I would love to work for them again. If you guys, anybody from Unstable Games hears this, My family loves your guys' games. I love the content you guys come up with, the artwork and everything. I would love to work with you guys and get back into playtesting so badly. Anyway, bringing it back. I ran a tips and advice page for Here to Slay, and I still every now and then get pings from people who will tag it and ask questions about the game. Currently we have Casting Shadows, which is huge. It's a much more complex game. And I am about to dive into recording videos for that and explaining how-tos, explaining cards, answering questions on it, because I enjoy the game. I enjoy explaining card games like that and concepts on how things play out. So with the kids going back to school and having this free time, I can now diversify what I want to do and just kind of make a schedule that works where I can do all these things, where I can record the videos and edit some on one day, work on the podcast the next, work on my streaming my 2 days a week that I'm trying to stream, be really focused on that, and just like I can break it apart and I can really dive in and make content that I like and that hopefully everybody else enjoys. You know, I can watch the trends, I can see how people do things and which videos are catchy and not. And I'm really excited to dive into that. So having the free time, having this time to, I keep saying free time, it's not free time, but having this time to be able to work now, uninterrupted between when my daughter goes to school, when my youngest gets there, and when I have to pick her up. She's the first one home. So once the kids take off to school for the day, and if the wife is working out at the office and hasn't left yet, you know, whenever she finally takes off for the day, I have from that moment until I have to pick up my youngest. And that's, like I said, about 6 hours, 6.5 hours. I have a lot of things I want to do. I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish, and you guys have fed me some crazy ideas for stuff, and I am I'm going to try to make some of them happen. Some of them will happen. But I'm excited to give them a shot and to have the time to work on them. So I'm really taking advantage of it. I want to, again, reiterate, going back to previous topics, previous episodes, like, there's plans being made. The things that are in my brain right now that I want to do, I'm writing down so I don't forget. And then I am brainstorming how to make them happen. And as soon as one of them feels like it's something that I can accomplish, I start working on it. But it's that planning side of things. It's the planning that needs to stay active, and understanding that I can't do all the plans at once. You know, I think I mentioned it, that I'm very much one of those completionist kind of people. So as long as I have it down in front of me, there's a very high likelihood that it's going to happen. And I really want to make sure that a lot of these projects that I have, the ideas in my head, I at least attempt them in some way. So between now and who knows when, I'm hoping to get a bunch of video content put together. I'm hoping to make video content more of a regular thing for the podcast, as well as all my other stuff. The streaming side of things, I'm working on getting that dialed in so I can make content almost immediately after a stream is done. So I'm not wasting time. You know, I want to be as efficient as possible as I am with all of my time that I can use. Hoping things kind of fall in place so I can make content the same day for all my projects. And I think I can do it. I think I have everything that I need to make that a possibility, where I can do the main recordings, do the main production, and then immediately dive into splicing that apart into smaller pieces. We'll see. I've been dabbling with it with the podcast, doing little snippets and teaser pieces of episodes. I haven't done any yet for these weekly episodes because, again, it was kind of testing the water with this to see if I can make a weekly thing work and how that feels with the workload and everything else. And I think once it's actually become more of a regular thing, I can start to produce the teaser content more regularly. And I won't need to do, like before I was doing 3 or 4 teasers per episode and I would space them out across 2 weeks. I might put out a teaser or 2 per episode between episodes, you know, just kind of as I have it written down right now. So if let's say, just this is an example, so this is episode 18 or 19, episode 19. Let's say I finish this one up and I start doing the splicing. So I'm going to promote episode 19 while, in theory, if I would have done this right, I would have had episode 19 recorded and I would have been promoting it after episode 17. So that way when 18 drops, you guys, anybody who's wanting to listen, kind of knows what's coming around the bend. That way 18 would be recorded and posted, 19 would have been teased, 20 is now next on the table being worked on, and I'm constantly just ahead, just a little bit, of what's going on. And I want to be able to do the same thing with all the videos. Record the main content for explaining the games that I want to do these little videos of. Just record all of it, and then start chopping it up, piece by piece. Here's the intro to the game, here's how to play these cards, here's what these cards mean, here's what this piece is for, and you know, going through that kind of stuff. I don't know how to do all of it yet. I'm still teaching myself a lot of the editing pieces. I have the tools, I have everything I need. It's just a matter of actually trying to do it and seeing what works, because there are certain edits, certain ways I do things that look great, but there's certain tools that I have to use to make them look great that I don't have access to on every device. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. But the open time that I'm going to have is not going to get wasted. I'm going to make sure that I'm working on a bunch of stuff. I'm just excited for it. I'm excited for the school year for the kids. You know, besides my projects and stuff, I'm excited for the kids to get back in there, to be with their friends again they haven't seen all summer. And we've all been there. We've talked about how I don't have these friends and I can't see them or talk to them unless I'm at school and blah, blah, blah. I'm excited for that reunion, because again, my two older kids are at that age where those friendships are really starting to become more important than they were before. They hold a lot more value, some of them more than others. And I'm excited for them to continue to grow into their own personalities and build the lives that they want to have moving forward. My oldest is definitely right there. He's knocking on adulthood, and just seeing his growth through the summer. I could have a whole episode talking about my kids and the ups and downs, which I probably will at some point. But my son is seriously one of the most amazing people. I could talk about all the bad things and how he drives me nuts at times, but genuinely looking at the way he's grown up and the way he's chosen to live life, there are some things I wish he would change. But as a person, just kind of overall, like, he's got such a good head on his shoulders and such a good mentality for things. I'm excited to see what he decides to do with his life leading into adulthood. And again, these school years, these last few that he has, my daughter's in the tail end of hers. My middle child's in the tail end of her years now. She's going into the last half. You know, I'm excited to see what they do with the year and what they learn and how they grow and all that stuff. Our youngest, she's so excited for school, and it makes me happy because we've had 3 kids now who are so excited to go into kinder. They go in, and as a parent, you always kind of wonder what's going to happen. I have no doubt that she's going to walk in there and absolutely own the place, because she's a mini leader. She makes sure that she is heard and that she is there helping, and everything I could ask for, she does it. There's obviously things as a kinder that, you know, she's going to have to work on, with patience and being clear on things, and just, it's all the stuff that you would expect a young kid to be working on. So I'm excited for them to go back and get into that structure and kind of work on things, for little one to get into her real fine structure now and start beginning the process of going through school like everybody else. Because pre-K's, you guys know, it's pre-K. Like, it's half structure, half fun. So kinder's more of a more structured program. So we're excited to see how that goes. But yeah, I'm just excited for it. I'm excited to have structure again all the way around. I'm hoping that my wife will be able to benefit from it as well, and hopefully we can all just continue to make progress forward, you know? I mentioned it before, I mentioned it on multiple episodes. My family is very much one of those that likes to plan and make things happen, and I'm hoping that we can continue to leave all the negative energy behind us and continue to live this lifestyle that we have of moving forward and growing. Because it's not worth it to hang around on all the negativity, and it's not worth it to hang around with people and situations that want to harm you, and it's not worth it to hang around and do nothing. So I'm hoping that this is another one of those years where we have a lot of growth and a lot of movement forward. And I think it's going to be one of those. I'm feeling it already. I'm feeling this school year is going to be one of those. A lot of things coming up that I need to work on. A lot of things that I'm working on already. And yeah, you guys, I'm ready. I'm ready for the year. I'm ready for the school year. I'm ready for structure. I'm ready for more time to do what I want to do and to take care of some stuff around the house I need to take care of, and just do things to better the family situation all the way around. So I've talked you guys' ear off today. Kind of long run-ons there, and I apologize for some of those. But like I said, I'm excited for a lot of things coming up here. And like I said, I think we have to come up with a creative title for this. You guys have obviously seen it because you click the episode to listen. But I'm thinking something like Time Renewed. I don't know. We'll see what I come up with here by the time I finally finish editing and get it posted on there. Join the conversations at Let's Hang Out Pod everywhere. Hashtag Let's Hang Out Pod. I'll keep you guys posted on the live events, hopefully coming up soon. I'll keep you guys posted on everything coming up as much as I can. Again, if I'm not as active, I'm working behind the scenes and making things happen to be a better product and a better podcast all the way around. But you guys, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you taking your time out of the day to drop by and give me 15, 20, whatever time it is this episode takes. I really do. I appreciate you guys listening from all over. We will continue to have some fun and talk about life and things going on. And yeah, we'll go from there. But I'll let you guys get back to your days, and I will catch you on the next episode, whenever that is. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. We'll see how it all works out. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one.